In an ancient time, when a terrible evil threatens the land, only one man can save the world.
Say what? Get out of here.
What? What's the meaning of this?
Oh, we'll just take off that broken record.
I say.
Here, hold my earrings while I take this monster down. I've got your back, darling. We just might burn down this town. Oh no, oh yeah. When you're up against a challenge and you need a helping hand, we've got an arsenal of fireballs, steel stilettos, and a cat. Oh yeah.
Hi, and welcome to Here Hold My Earrings. My name's Al, and I'm your DM today. With me are Yvonne, Laura, Daria, Sophie, and Ida. Yvonne,
Hi, I'm Yvonne from Canada, and I play Cracker, a half-orc barbarian.
Laura,
Hey, I'm Laura from Germany, and I play Byleth, a tiefling wizard.
Daria,
Hi, I'm Daria. I'm from Poland and I play a tiefling sorcerer named Zenis.
Sophie,
Hi, I'm Sophie. I'm from Wales and I play a human wizard named Charlotte.
and Ida.
Hi, I'm Ida. I'm from Sweden and I play Lilith, the wood elf cleric.
All right, Yvonne.
All right, so we're at the gates of Neverwinter, and we're waiting for Lord Neverember, and we're going over what happened before. And Sophie the Widow is ruminating over what has happened, and we come to the conclusion that Euripides is a fixer as well as a tailor. He's kind of an interesting character. I'm just going to little aside here. I kind of like that Zenis has this cool connection to Euripides because I think that's going to pay off in the future. Anyway, okay. It's not that they weren't expecting us. So the portcullis is down, the cannons are pointing at us, and they say, "You are violating the sanctity of Neverwinter's borders. The Lord's not here presently available to speak to you. Please try again." And then they suggest that Luskin's nice this time of year. Luskin's never nice any time of year. It's always freezing. And Charlotte says, "What a rude fellow." And Byleth booms out to Neverember, "Lord, we expect an audience." And after everyone recovers from the shouting, the dude at the bottom says, "Hey, as I said, the Lord is not available." And then Zenis tries sending to Lord Neverember, "Lord Neverember, can you please come to the gates to have an audience with us?" And he responds, "I'll be there in 2 hours for parley." So Zenis is exhausted, falls to the ground, needs to be carried back to where we set up a temporary camp. And we talk about it for a bit. So we noodle. We don't know how big the Zentrum force is. And Lilith suggests we sneak in and let the two forces fight each other. And Byleth says we need to search for Lord Vidar. And we really need Lord Neverember to tell us what the deal is. Because at this point, we're just noodling back and forth for a long time. We're not really sure. Has he been turned? Is he good? Is he bad? And we have this idea that maybe we can get Lady Elaine to be the figurehead. And Charlotte requests Commander Forsyth and asks if we weren't to take the city, how much gold would his soldiers need to sort of stop ransacking the city, like not to rape and pillage? And he says, "What? I don't understand. What do you mean not take the city?" And Charlotte says, "Well, like how much could we pay you off? Like what kind of ransom would you need to spare all of the villagers so we wouldn't be, hurting the citizens?" And he tells us that, well, that's going to be thousands and thousands and thousands of gold. And maybe some appointments, some knighthoods, some property, etc. It just got right out of control. So as we're waiting there, we're still talking to him a little bit, and Lord Neverember strides out. And he says to us, like, he greets us, and the freaky deaky 8-foot Zentrum Lord Vidar is with him. And that other guy, oh no, I'm looking for his name. Oh, there's another guy. Anyway, Lord Vidar tells us, "If you do not withdraw, we will destroy you." And Charlotte says, the withdrawal is out of the question for us. They have a long march back. And again, they suggest Luskin. Great this time of year. And Zenis connects with him because at this point, we're all kind of like, what the hell? He looks like he's totally friends with Lord Vidar. And he says, thank God you've arrived. The Zentrum have taken control. They depleted somewhat, but they're using tieflings they brought in from the swamps, a group that's living in the swamps, made a magical brigade. They're extremely effective. Where are they now? We ask, and are they in the city? And he tells us they're in an old prison main military complex. Most of the troops and tieflings are there. They aren't entirely aligned. They thought they'd be freed and brought back to society. They're bound somehow, held at sword point by Vidar. He has very powerful psionic abilities. And Zenith asks Lord Neverember what we should do. And he says, wipe out the Zentrum, assassinate him. But he thinks he might be too challenging. He never removes his armor. We may need to infiltrate the city. Otherwise, we could attack, but it would entail heavy losses on both sides. The militia and the commanders are compromised to Lord Vidar, but he wants us to turn the tieflings. We'll disable much of the garrison that way. And something about Lord Vidar being most active in the afternoon and evenings. And he says, I've never seen him in the morning. And then he's regretting his contract with the Zentrum. He's like, they are everywhere. Please help. And Zenith tells him, hide somewhere safe. Neverember says, I'm watched day and night. And so basically, Lord Neverember then says out loud, well, what are you waiting for? Clear out before they start firing. And Zenith says, we should retreat and regroup. So we move back a bit. Forsyth says, we're in position. We've counted the men. It's just a fight, but we could take them. And Zenith pops into Forsyth's head and says, later. We're going to do this later, telepathically. And Forsyth jumps back. He's shocked at the voice in his head. And we convince him, or she convinces him, but like a little, come on, man. And so he takes the army back a little bit. Yes, it'll give us time to build siege engines and some towers and picket lines, and we'll besiege upon your command. And Charlotte commands retreat, and Forsyth says, not that. And she says, men, let's prepare to siege the city. And then everybody says, okay, and they start to go and prepare. Lord Neverember jumps back, and the cleric starts shifting on his feet. And the cleric, whose name I can't remember, and Lord Vidar says, I find your lack of faith disturbing. And, of course, in Darth Vader's voice. And he points at us, this is not over yet. You will regret this, you rebel scum. And he turns, his cape flowing, snaps his fingers at Neverember, summoning him to go back into the castle. So, our situation is, we have ships blockading the harbor, and one small ship makes a run for it. And one of the two big ships maneuver, but one ballista knocks the mast off, but it makes it there. And they're all watching this with great anxiety and trepidation. But we watch as this small boat makes it into the city, which is interesting, and I don't know why, but I had to make a note of it. So Zenith tells us everything. We decide that hold the army, get into the city somehow, and we need to figure out how to do that. And Charlotte, being a street urchin, has a map of the city, and it shows all the hidden entrances. And the city does have a rather robust thieves guild, so any rogue can get in and out. Smuggled in by boat works the best, rowboat at night. There's a wall network. The sprawls on the outside, but it's mostly behind the walls. There's an active sewer system. Yum, yum. And the city's part of a delta, and there's woods, and it meets the sea at the Sword Coast. So there's a way to come in from the sea. There's a way to come in from inland in the river. So the river seemed like a pretty good idea, but the river has defenses. It's very defended with patrols and these underwater chains that rip ships apart, and probably us if we swam through it. Anyway, so we didn't really know what to do at that point. And we were discussing shrinking people and then flying around and then going up the sewers. These are all our options. And we go and get Commander Forsyth back from his army and have a little chat. So we're trying to see if the Zentrum, if they would just attack the Zentrum. But then we just sort of discovered that the Zentrum are like a corporation, and he's very reluctant to attack them. I mean, they're mercenaries, and the Zentrum are mostly mercenaries, and everybody's in it for the money. and the Zentrum are contracted to be here. They're not there out of some ideal. So if we take out Lord Vidar, we should be able to get control of the Zentrum. And then there's this nice long discussion about, hang on, does Lord Vidar actually have the support of Zentrum head office? And so now we have to figure out how to contact the office, find out if he has the support of the office. And I think we ended up trying to use Delyn's old sending stone and tried to contact Delyn's old military leader to let them know that she's dead. And so we send sad news, Delyn is dead. We're seeking a way to confirm Vidar's approval from Zentrum head office. Do you have a way to contact? And then we're thinking, Wakanga Otamu might be another person we can contact, but we didn't really have a way to do that. So we get a reply from the sending stone as we're sort of noodling outside still. Still haven't come up with a totally solid plan to go in, I don't think. Someone can correct me. And we get a reply back. Bring Delyn's body to Neverwinter and Feywild Portal and for resurrection. So what is NW? Who is Vidar? No Zentrum contact. We'll ask Toril elves, and it takes days. If help for Black Mold required, message and meet at Neverwinter Woods Portal. Queen Titania approved some resources. And so our whole goal is to get in there, turn the tieflings, and that's where I'm at. Was that okay?
That was amazing.
I missed a lot of stuff. Mostly noodling.
It's Lord Vidar's voice. There is, I don't know who this Marth Vader person is that you refer to. Certainly not a trademark Disney property that we would be infringing upon, even if we were using the defense that it is a humorous alternative.
He's a freaky deaky guy, man. He's just like a
Absolutely
freaky deaky guy.
freaky deaky original intellectual property. No similarity to anything else that might have existed since 1977, created by George Lucas. Okay, very good. Yes. Anybody want to add anything? There was a lot to cover, as you said. But you did
Does
a great
anybody
job.
remember the name of the cleric?
Well, I don't think I gave an actual name, but he is a cleric of Bane.
Okay.
Their motto is "Talk to the hand."
Oh, yeah.
Because it's almost it's a hand symbol. Get it?
Yeah, I get
Did
it.
you get that, Sophie?
What?
I love you,
What was the
Sophie. When you're totally not it, when you don't know what's going on, you're just like, huh?
Yeah, I don't know how to fake it till I make it.
Okay, very good. Yes, so you guys have several options to get into the city. It sounded like that was your plan, was to try to sneak in. That's certainly what you told Commander Sir
Commander? Commander Sir?
I always get this confused. Is it Sir General? It's Commander Sir Forsyth. Yeah. Sir is now part of his personal title, but his rank is commander. And he's pulled back. They're building siege engines, catapults, siege towers, ramps to the gates. Of course, they're quite far back because, Neverwinter has its own smaller siege engines, including significant fleets of ballistae, which can be used to fire upon besiegers at quite a distance, especially with the height of the walls involved. So you guys have pulled back with the rest of the forces. You're basically just part of the siege works at this point. The boats, the men of war are out in the harbor blockading ships. There are occasional ships that try to run it, and the fact that they're willing to take such a risk tells you they must be up to it must be very important, obviously, and there must be some significant reason why they're doing it, why it's worth it for them to do that. But at this stage, you don't necessarily know who they are, why they're doing it, or even where they're coming from, because by the time you see them, they're just on the open ocean. But of course, a city this size has sewer systems, and they seem to mostly flow into the river, which then carries it out to the sea. There is the river gate, which is an entrance used by barges bringing things from further upstream, including farms, as well as raw materials harvested from Neverwinter wood, such as timber. And of course, you know some people inside the city already, or people who, in theory, should be inside the city. So who knows, maybe you could even rely on that, if you felt like it. What do you think they should do, Daria?
I don't really know.
Anybody?
Yeah, I think what we should do is, Charlotte, can you tell Cracker asked Charlotte if she can tell that place where the sewers are kind of abandoned and a little maybe less juicy? Could we somehow figure out where those empty out or should empty out and go in that way?
Ooh, juicy sewers. That sounds really yummy.
Juicy sewers.
Wait, hang on. Tell me again. You want me to tell Cracker as Charlotte a place
Yeah.
where the sewers are not so disgusting?
Right. So I point on the map at that old kind of rifty part and say, well, this part's abandoned or at least has very low usage. Maybe we should go in somewhere here. Do you have an idea where they might empty out?
I'll check my memories and see if I know. Oh. What am I even looking at?
I will change this so that you can see it more easily and actually move arrows around on it. So just give me a sec. Okay, so as I was saying before I was so rudely interrupted.
Can I draw where I was talking
Yes,
about?
you can. That's the whole point. You can do whatever
Okay.
you want.
So this whole chasm is sort of abandoned, and then there's older places here and here, so I'm not sure where their septic pipes go, sewer pipes. And I know that this is like the poor area. This is the rich area. Sorry, I'm doing SimCity notation. And
I don't see
up
anything.
here. Oh, you don't see my little marks everywhere?
I do.
Okay.
Oh,
Me too.
I see the
It's
Maybe.
light blue. Sorry, it's my color.
maybe no. It's maybe my Roll20's not uploading quickly enough.
And
Yep.
we are here, right? And we kind of want to be down here. Yeah, where the happy face is. We kind of want to be over on this side. We have a better chance getting in on this side.
And the prison was on that side too, right?
Yeah, the old prison's there. I thought the old prison was like here
Oh God, how do you guys remember so much?
because I take notes on a map
Oh my God.
because I'm insane.
Mhm.
No, you're not. You're an average prepared D&D player,
Here you go.
an
Oh.
above average person.
Thank you. So these sewers here around that chasm, I'm assuming they would let out in the river like here, maybe? I'm trying to draw it in here because my color is so light.
That's strange. I still don't see the notations.
Really? I'm going to change my color to darker blue.
Nope. Must be something going on with me. I don't see it at all. Not any color. But don't worry about it. You keep going. It sounds like you're.
Okay.
From what I can hear, it sounds right, and
But
you
then
can always show me with the arrow later.
thing is, we know that the river's super defended, so I'm not sure how we get in, except I know that we have this part down here at the ocean entrance sort of blockaded, but do we have the riverside blockaded, the farm side? Or the woods, or wherever the river's coming out of? Anybody know?
Blockaded? What do you mean blockaded?
Well, I know it has some defenses, but our forces have the ocean side blockaded, right?
Oh, yes. So, as I mentioned last week, I think you don't have like sufficient men to form an actual like human chain of men walk, around the entire circumference of the city, which is normal. Normally, besieging armies don't necessarily completely surround a city, but you do have enough men to set up roadblocks as well as the men of war out in the harbor. But you've also set up essentially sort of a dam upstream. So they felled some trees. The trees are now blocking parts of the river enough that no barges can get in, right? Because it's not just a question of like the water. The water still flows, but you can't get anything substantial down the river without it getting caught up in the trees. And then at that point, you've got archers on both sides, both riverbanks, and anybody who would be on there would essentially just be turned into Swiss cheese or set on fire. So nothing substantial is coming in or out of the city. Now, is one person in the cover of darkness, when most of the people around here are human, able to sneak their way in? If they can get over the walls or through the walls or under the walls or into the river, then yes, possibly it's definitely possible. But you're talking about a massive city. You can't bring in slow carts with oxen pulling huge wagon loads of supplies, primarily food, to feed all these people. And also, if the city tried to empty itself out and all the civilians tried to flee, I mean, you don't have to do anything to them, but if you wanted to, you could kill them all or you could capture them. They wouldn't be able to. You wouldn't be able to see. You would notice 5,000 people trying to leave at the same time. But 5 here, 2 there, nobody's probably going to notice. Make sense?
Yep. I can't erase my marks on the map. Sorry. You're gonna have to do that for me.
I will, but I still don't see your marks, which is really, really weird. Okay, but you want me to erase them?
Yeah. Everyone's
Okay.
got the note in their head. I just don't want it to affect the other map. I guess if we move over, it doesn't come with us, right?
No, it's fine.
Okay. Then leave my defaced stuff there.
Yes, ma'am.
So, Charlotte, you were the street urchin in here. You know the sneaky things. What's your opinion?
Mm. Mm-hmm. Let me think. Did I do a history check on that?
Yes, but you might want to narrow your search parameters, as it were.
But I don't know anything about sewers.
You inadvertently and indirectly interact with one at least every day, presumably.
Well,
Hopefully.
doesn't that just get magically erased?
Or unless you know a sneaky entrance and exit.
Well, at least specify what the question is, because I'm
Okay.
still not sure exactly what it is you want to run a history check on.
So basically, the sewers that are in the least use in this poor area, Cracker was asking if Charlotte would know where they would empty out.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But I have no idea.
Mm-hmm. Well, as a street urchin, somebody who has plied her trade throughout the city, and specifically somebody who spent a lot of times on the docks, as you've told people, you would know that most of you don't know. You're not an expert on urban planning, right? You were never part of the city's infrastructure department or the sewers and maintenance department, so you don't know all the ins and outs. You know from observation that there are these huge sewer pipes that lead into the water, right? You can see them coming out of the land and into the water, and then there are times when the sewage flows out all at once for some reason, like if there's a big celebration and everybody's having a big party at the same time, like around celebrations for the year end or the harvest festival, and it can get overflowing and the smell is atrocious, absolutely unbearable. You would also know, having spent some time in the poor quarter, which is kind of where you're from, which is all the way in the lower right-hand corner there near the Graben, that large crevasse, that the broken sewers were never fixed because, well, to reattach them from one end to the other would take so much money. It's not really worth it. And the Graben itself is just a very, very deep fissure caused in part by the eruption of Mount Hottenau. A lot of this has been repaired, but the most of the money and the convict labor, which is how Neverwinter tends to deal with its criminals when they're imprisoned rather than keep them in prison, has been spent on repairing the walls and fortifications for the exterior defense. So some of the sewers are still active, but they just kind of lead into the Graben and just pour filth in there, and it's like a gigantic cesspool.
Oh,
It's so deep that nobody ever actually sees where the stuff. It's not like it's a canal in a city where people actually traverse along it. It just kind of disappears and it's just gone. But you notice it because on hot summer days, especially, the smell is overpowering. It just wafts up, and you can smell both the actual smell of the raw sewage as well as the water that goes into and mixes with everything else, and of course the net byproduct, which is primarily methane, but also sulfurous, the sulfur scent of decaying matter.
mm,
But there are
lovely.
also sewers and drainages that lead out of the city. For the most part, there aren't too many of them because they are considered weak spots. They're guarded and or locked. It wouldn't be that easy to get in, but it's not impossible to find one. There may be, you would probably know that there's a thieves guild. You may have even dealt on the periphery with some of these shady characters. And then beyond that, you don't know for sure, but it might be possible to find one of these sewers and grates and work your way in.
Hmm.
There's always the option of trying to climb over a wall as well, but that would take a lot of rope, and then of course risk detection if you're unlucky or you don't take precautions. You've
Okay.
also seen dead bodies float on the river from outside. You don't know for sure. Sometimes the bodies are on the river because they're people who've fallen in or they were murdered. But sometimes people fish them out, and they tell you that the bodies have been dead for a long time. They must have just come from upstream, like in the woods or something.
Okay. I'll tell
And
that to
you
Cracker.
and you were there during the siege as well, which happened not
Mhm.
too long ago. And at that point, there was even an attack led by the orcs, and they attempted to cut off the water supply to Neverwinter completely. And the Neverwinter forces rallied with the help of some heroes, and they defeated the orcs upstream. And the orcs who died, as well as some of the men who died, floated into the city. And then that led to a secondary assault because some of the orcs ended up becoming zombies, and they came out of the water and threatened the docks, especially where you're from. And the funny thing about those orcs, the zombie orcs, is they exploded and then they corrupted everybody who was nearby them, and they turned into zombies of their own. And it was a terrifying scene. You watch one of your best friends explode in a giant gas cloud, spewing green ichor and material everywhere.
Oh, goody. I hope it's not foreshadowing.
Mm.
Um,
God.
Or it could have just been bloating from having too much food the night before.
hmm. By the way, how did Agamemnon and Charlotte escape? Did they escape through like a secret entrance, perhaps?
Escape from what?
During the orc siege on Neverwinter.
Oh, well, Agamemnon's a very, very powerful wizard, and his simulacrum, even though it can't relearn spells, has access to all of Agamemnon's magical abilities, and also anything he can access personally himself. So Agamemnon knew that there was a magical portal that he was able to activate.
Oh,
So the tower, there is a magical society called the Cloak and Stars, which is the same society that Galio Libro is a member of, and that's why he wears a purple cloak that has gold stars on it. And they have a magical portal. And although Agamemnon is not part of it, he's respected and he has access to it as a sort of a visiting dignitary.
Okie dokie pokey. Well, yeah, I'll tell all that to Cracker and the team.
All right, so it looks like a nighttime float or sink to get into
What do you
the
think,
river.
Laura?
I agree. Yeah. I mean, it's the smartest choice, and I trust my fellow Charlotte with her knowledge of the city. Yeah. Nighttime's good because it's, well, private and we won't get spotted easily, and the sewers are good because, well, the same really, minus the smell, but I think we'll survive that, hopefully.
Mm. So what? We either try to look for one of the entrances that are outside, or we try to go down the river. Is that what you're saying?
Well, I think
Hmm.
we already discovered that there's really no way. There's no entrances on the outside. The gates are still
Yeah.
closed and defended all the way around to the river. We just need to get in. I mean, in the poor quarter, you probably have some connections, right? I know there's another
Yeah.
wall surrounding the rich part of town, but I'm sure there's sneaky ways in there.
Mm-hmm.
We just need to get to that prison.
Ida, how does Lilith feel about all this?
Lilith are really. I mean, she's probably not gonna want to do the riverside, the swimming and everything. She has been falling a lot when we have been climbing, so I'm not sure climbing's a
No.
good way. And she dropped her very good rope and everything when the pyramid was falling in and she had to be rescued. But the sewers
Mm.
doesn't sound very fun either, but she isn't that afraid of the smell.
Well, she smelled worse.
Yeah.
The musty, unwashed scent of a true alpha male.
Oh, gross.
Maybe he was in the army at one point.
Oh.
No offense to anybody who was ever in the army. That's not the point of this joke. Great respect for the notes there. Okay.
Same.
Very good.
Okay, in cover of darkness, away we go. Go to the river,
Mm.
jump in, swim a bit,
And
and
you make it into Neverwinter. No.
Yay!
the end.
Yay!
Yay! We arrive at
Did
the.
it.
And we convert the tieflings, and then we attack, and then we win.
Ah,
So
it's a pretty good
easy.
session so
all
far.
the all the demon lords are dead now.
Let's take it from there. That sounds good.
That was a bit anticlimactic. Yes. So giving you a little more detail on how you're going to do it, if you can, if you don't mind.
Okay.
Boy,
We
you
gotta
really
go
notice you
underwater
miss.
at the gate. Okay,
we
so
really
here's
we really feel the missing presence of Henrietta. It's like
so I'm gonna use orange, and I say we go in here. We're underwater for this part here, from here to here, and this looks like a second guard tower though. So
Use the-
we
Wait, so
might
use the
need to hold our
arrow.
breath.
Try
So
Might
we're
using
just
have
the
to hold our
arrow.
breath.
We're swimming?
Yeah, I think we're
Oh.
swimming.
How is Lilith going to swim?
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
Are you like, she taking off her armor and putting it in the bag of holding maybe? And then like, I
That
hope
would
the water's
work.
not very cold.
I can die and be resurrected several times, but ooh, cold water.
Well, I think it's pretty warm. It never freezes. Neverwinter, the river's pretty warm.
Ah,
Yeah.
It is. In fact, that's
Yeah.
a very good point, and that's why it's called Neverwinter, because it comes from the volcanic. It's heated by the volcanic activity.
oh my god.
Effectively acts as a hot spring.
It's never winter. Oh my god.
I see it now.
The hint is in the name.
Ah.
That's why there's a big lush forest, even though there's snow like 5 miles north.
Wow.
Mm,
So basically
Cool.
15 feet of holding our breath,
mhm.
or maybe 20.
Oh goody.
And then once we're there, try and look for sewers along this part here, looking for openings. And we want to go south into the town. Sound good?
Sure.
I mean, yeah. I mean, the sewers are above water level. How do we get up there? Am I right? Are they right at water level? Are they above? Like, how high up are the sewers?
No, they're at water level.
Okay, good. So we can just like swim into them.
Yeah, think of the river as the same as roughly once the river is actually in the city, it's more like the canal system in the Netherlands or Venice or something, like street level is just above the water level, but it's not that high. And for most of the sewers, they actually are below ground. So by the time you kind of level out the two, you can see the tops of the sewer, the tops of the sewers as they empty out into the river, but it's not like the whole sewer is exposed and it pours out. It's more that it just kind of flows out into the river.
Okay. And there's is it just a pretty swift current river?
Well, what's your definition of swift?
Well, if we float, like if we're floating from here, like we're underwater here, we'll be brought by the current. I'm just thinking of a timing thing, like
I
so we
don't know
could all
why I
count
cannot see a
5.
thing.
Can you see my arrow? I have it on linger.
No.
I can.
Me
Okay.
too.
All right. Obviously, I'm deficient, and I apologize. I'm only running like 15 systems at the same time.
I
You guys
know.
only have to run 1 or 2. I don't. So it's not like raging, right? If it were
Okay.
raging, that would be a problem, right? So it's
That's
kind of
kind
a,
of what
we're not talking like Niagara Falls here, but it's more like if it's a slow moving but very forceful, steady current. It's coming from very far up north and very far up in elevation. It's coming from a mountain range, right? It gathers a bit of speed coming downhill, but by the time it gets down to the ocean, right, the elevation change between the coastline and the outside of the city is de minimis. So it moves steadily, it moves slowly. If there are things that are slowing, it's like any city with a river in it. Like if you look at London, Thames, there's definitely a current, but it's not so strong that you can't swim across from one side to the other. In fact, a lot of people do often do it as part of a celebration, or because they don't want to pay the toll for the bridges, because the bridges, there's usually a small fee for bridge use or water taxi. So some of the poor people or somebody who wants to hide something, they'll swim back and forth, delivering illicit goods or messages. Swimming upstream would be tough, but it's not impossible for a good swimmer.
Okay. So who is the worst swimmer here? Anybody?
Well, assuming everybody takes their armor off and sticks it into the bag of holding, you guys
Yep.
are all roughly the same, except for it'll be based on strength
Yikes.
and
Okay.
constitution. So if
Uh-oh.
you have weak strength and weak constitution, you're definitely going to suffer. If you
But-
have a very good strength score, then we'll call it a good. We'll call you a good swimmer, unless you have a maritime background. In case I'll say you're automatically proficient in swimming, which I don't think any of you do.
Doesn't Charlotte working on the docks count?
I know people who have worked along the docks all their lives and cannot swim.
Many seamen. Seamen? Many fisherman back in the days could not swim, actually. I don't...
Phrasing. I did not make that up. See, that was not me, Sophie. That was not me in
I
my
was
twisted
questioning
mind.
myself.
Although I
Okay,
did notice this
you
week
know what I mean.
you changed your pronunciation of memories. Laura, you're so innocent. Either that or it's an exceptional facade.
What were you saying, Laura? Go
Eh, eh.
on.
Well, no, many of them they couldn't swim back in the day, so I
Oh.
mean, you either stay on boat or, well, you drown.
Yeah.
Well, you didn't know this because I never said it before and I didn't put it in my background, but Charlotte is actually like, she really loves to swim. It's like, yeah. She like did it all the time.
Jesus Christ.
Diving for pearls. Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
yeah, yeah.
It doesn't hurt that she has webbed fingers and feet.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah. And also gills.
Because she's a freak.
She's a fish, by the way.
They used to call her fish fingers.
Oh my God.
That's actually mean enough to actually be true somewhere.
Mm.
I knew somebody who had two fingers that were attached together. First time I noticed it, I'd known them for years, and then I finally noticed it. I was like, "Holy shit!" I felt really bad because it is obviously it's not nice to notice that about somebody and make a point of saying it. But it was, oh wow, really quite surprising. Anyway. Okay, fish fingers, fine. If I can call you fish fingers forever
No,
from now on,
no,
then-
no, 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 no. Next.
Now you see why he got upset about mittens?
Maybe.
Alrighty, very good. So, you guys, yeah, so, holding your breath is a constitution check. So if you're just going to let the river take you down, then you can just hold your breath. If you want to swim with it, then obviously that's a combination of strength and constitution. The distance, for those of you who are proficient in swimming, or at least capable of swimming, which we can say it's everybody, there's no... I mean, Byleth... I mean, there's no reason why Dragonborn wouldn't be good at swimming. In fact, there are some lizards that are really, really good at swimming. Not that Dragonborn are lizards, but you're in a body you're not familiar with.
After all this time, I think she'd be somewhat familiar.
Has she really? Yeah? All that time, right?
All that time.
Really?
Yeah.
Remember all that time you guys were asking for a
All
pearl
that
and you were like
time.
in Chult and you never did look for a pearl? All that time. Just because of time is not a good excuse. I feel like the elves are probably decent at swimming because they're so in tune with nature in general. And Zanice grew up in a
Swamp.
city yeah, she's used to swimming, wading. Cracker, I don't know. Cracker might actually have an aversion to water considering how little she bathes.
No. Good with water. Just it's the soap part.
Okay, all right.
It's in your eyes.
All right. Soap gets in your eyes.
I have a
Okay.
question. My
Mhm.
familiar, as an octopus, could it pull me?
It's a tiny creature, so it doesn't have very much carrying capacity. If you could make yourself weightless, then it might. So another option would be using levitation and then making yourself weightless and then levitating off the surface of the water and lying down.
I don't have that spell.
No, but somebody has boots.
Mine. And it will take an hour for you.
Oh yeah, true.
And then
It's-
somebody could lie on top of Zanice, and then you guys could body surf.
Oh. Uh-huh.
My poor
Right?
back. Oh,
Oh no.
I'm too old for this.
You're only physically aged. You're not mentally aged. You're still in the same mental age as you were before.
Doesn't mean I can't use it.
Daria in real life is actually looking forward to becoming middle aged.
God, no.
Hey, take it easy. Take it easy. All right. Okay, so yeah. If you just want to float, it'll get you there eventually, assuming you don't get stopped or spotted and peppered with arrows. But like I said, they do keep a close eye on the river, especially now, right? So
Yeah.
of course you could always enlist the help of your soldiers and see if they can't do something to help you get in. Cause a distraction, maybe? Huh. Oh, yeah.
That would be a good idea. Oh.
Well, you said
Somebody
there's
roll
like
some dice so it can pretend somebody did a history check or something or a strategy check and just made that up rather than me just giving it to you.
Huh.
Laura, roll some dice. Otherwise,
Force
it'll just seem
history.
like I'm just telling you.
There it is. Did I roll? Huh,
There you
guys, I have an idea.
Nice. Very subtle. Not as subtle as your semen.
Well, let's make a distraction.
You remember
Soldiers.
reading in school at the university, the conclave of Silvery Moon, as you were a student. Your studies primarily covered the arcane and how to use the magical weave, but it also included basic history and more than one battle involving magic and wizards was won or lost not through sheer magical power, but through the use of clever tactics. And you know that sometimes smart generals or leaders in war will use a distraction to force an enemy, to dedicate resources to dealing with the distraction, leaving some other flank vulnerable to either attack or penetration.
Well, I'm going to convey that to the party. Yeah, well, maybe we could do something similar.
sounds good.
Great.
I'm up for anything.
Henrietta, come back. Come on, Daria. This feels like something up your alley.
Good one.
Sorry. I apologize. I didn't mean to put you on the spot. Poor Daria is getting an ulcer. Being called on first, being called on again. Come on, Ida. All that military training you had, weren't you conscripted at one point? National service?
Wouldn't it make sense to have our forces attack the other forces while to have everyone focus on the attack and then we sneak in behind?
Yeah, I think that's the definition of a distraction.
Yeah.
Well done.
I guess so, but the whole point of us sneaking in is to like avoid bloodshed, right?
Oh, who cares?
Well, suppose so.
Shed a little bit of blood.
Well, that Lathander ruse is well and truly dead now.
That was just a decoy.
That's true. It was a performance. All right.
So, shall I command the troops to attack?
Go for it, fish fingers.
Oh,
But
fuck off.
wait,
Maybe no.
I
If-
hate that.
No. Maybe no full assault. Just I don't know. Make
A
it seem
skirmish.
like they were to attack, and then because if you tell them to attack, they're gonna just attack the city and don't stop.
Well, they'll also expect you to be involved.
Yeah.
Oh, true.
So I need to
'Cause-
tell them the plan.
So what should I tell them?
What did you say?
What should I tell them to do then if
So-
not attack?
Oh. That was German. I'm not sure.
Come on, Laura, take a leadership role.
Yeah.
Oh my
You're a
god.
senior member of this party now.
Yeah. Well. Hmm.
She's only aggressive when she's telling the DM that he's wrong.
Yeah, well. How easy is it for the troops to get through the gate? Because I feel like if they're just going to march upon the gate and stand in formation and I don't know, maybe bang at it or something, then that might even already be enough to cause, I don't know, everyone to be alert at them and not pay attention to us.
Oh. Why don't you ask Commander Forsyth?
I will ask him exactly that. What do you think of this plan?
So you want us to just walk up to the door and bang on it? With what? The hilt of our swords, while they're shooting arrows at us, pouring boiling oil on us, dropping stones as size as my head.
Do you have a better idea? As a distraction?
How do you want to get in the city?
We were planning to go through the sewers on the other side. So we need a distraction. And you guys would be perfect for the job.
All right. I will have the men light bonfires in the dark of night and raise an unholy din of noise. It'll actually make them think that we're about to launch an assault. We won't, because our siege engines aren't ready. And if we were going to assault, we would want you to be there, especially with your fireball spell to clear the way. But if we make enough noise, they'll be on alert, which they would be anyway. But they'll be focused here. Now, any commander worth his or her salt will know that such an assault in the dead of night, especially knowing that our siege engines are incomplete because they can see them from the tops of the walls being built, would be suicidal. But they must think that we have another plan. At the same time, they can't ignore it. It simply isn't possible. If you do want to sneak into the city at that point, you could try the river or the sea, and you might want to simply disguise yourselves. I read about this invention. Well, it's not an invention, it's a theory that a man or woman could be inside of a vessel underwater. The vessel would be made of metal or something else. And although it would sink, it would stay buoyant because of the air in it. Now, I'm not saying we have time to make that. We certainly don't have the metallurgical skills here. Our armor and blacksmith are very capable, but they don't have they've never made anything like this. But I've also seen people who were on the ocean in a lifeboat that capsized, and the lifeboat stayed afloat upside down, and they held on to the lifeboat. Now, what if we take a log, carve it out, and you hide underneath the log? So the top of it looks like a log, but underneath there's a space for you to breathe. And you just hold on to the log and you drift underneath it.
Wow. That's very smart. Oh my god. Thank you.
Now,
I
it
think.
will get picked up.
Mhm.
They'll stop logs because they tend not to like big floating debris, but they wouldn't necessarily assume that it's an attack. You'll have to
Mhm.
deal with whoever tries to intercept the log. If it's happening at the same time as a possible assault from the land side of things, you might be able to get away with just killing a caretaker or some of the maintenance people. It'll be a lot easier than dealing with a whole contingent of soldiers.
Mhm. Okay. Do you think the log would be ready tonight?
Yes, if you wanted one, I'm sure we've got a couple of logs. We've been collecting them already. We've stopped a few of the barges that have been coming downstream. I think there's quite a bit of timber on some of them. We've been using the materials to create the dam, but we're probably about done with that now, so we should have some leftovers. Everything else has been rededicated towards building the siege engines, but I'm sure we could spare a log here or there. You'll probably need 2. I don't think they're going to be so huge after they've been cut up to allow all of you at the same time. Unless, of course, some of you can reduce your size. I've seen people do that magically. Otherwise, 2 logs should do it. And we'll have them ready by the evening. You'll meet
Okay.
at the barricade upstream and float down with the rest of the flotsam and jetsam that gets through the dam that we've got.
Thank you. That sounds great.
You're welcome. Good luck.
Thank
If
you.
you get caught, we can't stop anything happening to you inside.
We won't.
Okay.
All right.
You'll let me know if you get inside safely. Is there
Mhm.
a signal or...
Mm.
You haven't done this very much, have you?
Well, no. Zenith, can you do ascending when you're inside, or that
I would
take too
prefer
many
to.
resources?
Yeah, I would prefer to get some more fireballs than sending.
Mm.
What if we have
Mm.
one of the familiars do a little maneuver in the air?
Yeah, I think that makes sense too. So, an owl?
Yeah.
Okay.
Perhaps we can have it do a figure 8 in the air.
Figure 8's good. It'll be hard to notice something that is just flying in a circle because birds tend to do that naturally. You'll need to
Mm.
identify the bird a bit more easily, though, because from this distance, where we are, we can barely see it. You'll have to tie some sort of a colorful silk ribbon, or you could just have it fly out to us with a message.
Yeah, I mean, we can try. I think that will work. Yeah.
All right.
All right.
All right.
Um, I would, I mean, if you don't want to do it, Charlotte, then I would take the time to summon Ivy and show her to Commander Forsyth so that he knows what she looks like.
Okay, sounds good.
It will take an hour.
Well, it won't be dark for another 6, so you have plenty of time.
Hmm?
You'll need to move upstream and meet the men there. That'll take you about 3-4 hours.
Okay.
Good luck.
Thank you. Good luck to you too.
Well, we won't be taking any risk. We won't be starting the assault. But if you don't
Well,
come back, you realize one of the problems is that we don't have enough money to pay the men. So if you don't come back, then, well, The men just might take the city and do what they want. So if you want to stop that happening, you'll make sure you survive and return. Right. And then he calls a messenger. Send this to the barricade team. Have them start working on this right away. Yes, sir. I'd better get back to it then. I've got to prepare as well.
All right. Then let's go.
Let's go. Okay, so you start making your way up. Do you want to take a break now?
Yeah, I need a coffee.
Okay.
All
Awesome.
right.
Hi, we hope you're enjoying this episode, and if so, please like and subscribe. And remember, the next time your DM says, roll initiative, yell back,
Here,
hold
my
my
earrings.
Here, hold my earrings.
This is good. I think we only need this take.
Okay, very good. We're all back. Yes. So you've managed to slowly walk your way up to around the circumference of the city outside your security cordon. You've been given a guide by Commander Forsyth to ensure safe passage through the checkpoints. Although everybody kind of knows who you are in the dark of night, you're not part of the actual military apparatus. You don't necessarily know all the code words. It's easier if one of the soldiers just goes with you. You arrive at the barricade upriver. It's nothing spectacular. It's basically a bunch of felled logs dropped into the river. The river itself is it's narrower up here because that's how rivers form. It basically takes like two or three really large tree trunks and a significant portion of all of the debris floating on top of the river, and of course anything that would be coming down deliberately, such as a barge, would automatically be caught up in the morass. There are probably about 50 soldiers altogether stationed there, and they are comprised of some pikemen, a few men armed with swords and shields, and quite a lot of archers. Most of them are stationed on the south bank on your side, but there's a small contingent on the north side as well. And they've got a little system of ropes going back and forth across the bank and what appears to be one rowboat. And so that's how they move things back and forth, is pulling on the ropes, pulling this one rowboat tied at both ends to the rope back and forth like a clothes hanger, like a clothesline. A fellow comes up bearing the insignia of your mercenary group and tips his hat. He's a bit of a rat-faced, skinny fellow. Ma'am, with your permission, we've got the boats all ready. Rather the decoy logs. The lads thought they were funny-looking boats until we turned them over. You sure you want to do it this way? I'm not. It's going to be the water's. It's not exactly cold. It's fairly warm, but it's warm compared to freezing cold weather. You understand? It's still going to be chilly for you. Are you planning on swimming in your are you planning on swimming in that? And he points at your outfits.
Cracker looks down at the dress and measures just mid thigh and just takes her dagger and just cuts a little hole and just rips all the way around. Yep.
Right. It's just that long flowy outfits, they tend to drag a lot. You'll be carrying a lot of water and it'll be hard to get out. Plus the color is a bit bright. Nobody can see you underneath the log, but if any of it flows out on either side, in the darkness, it's hard to see, but what we've noticed, we've snuck a couple of soldiers in and scouts, and most of them get back, but a few of them don't. Apparently, there's a lot of lights. They've got this very clever mirrored system where they use bright bonfires and then they focus these very highly polished steel plates. And it's not quite as bright as daytime, but it's very bright.
Oh, I think we could change back to our normal outfits so that
Yeah.
we would be less, well, seen,
That's a good idea.
even though
Uh,
we
not
do
that
look
they're
beautiful.
not that you don't look. Yes, absolutely. Yes, the men all appreciate you showing up just like that. It gave them all a bit of a morale boost. Right. Well, we're ready whenever you are.
Okay.
Right,
Now
I think we're ready. Yep, we're ready.
Exciting.
Is it though?
It is.
Okay.
It's stressful. I feel like we're all going to drown or something.
Well, that's a distinct possibility.
Can I put my magic chainmail in the bag of holding?
Yep.
Yes,
Cracker holds it
Well,
open.
I don't want to.
it's definitely heavy. I mean,
I put it down.
the funny thing about D&D 5e is we don't really have rules for swimming. I mean, there are some optional rules for swimming, and it's mostly hand waved. But yeah, anybody who's
appreciate
even
that.
tried to swim with a like a swim bag will know that it's really, really hard.
Yes.
Or even scuba diving gear. Okay, so you guys climb in the water. Everybody roll a Constitution saving throw. Tell me what you get.
20.
Yeah, of course you do.
15.
Let's see here. Yeah. 15.
You all did. Oh,
I got a
excellent,
6.
Laura. Well done.
Well,
Oh, Laura.
I'm drowning, never to be seen again.
You step in, and immediately you find it so cold
Oh god.
that you start sneezing
No,
uncontrollably.
the trauma. I
Achoo!
don't want to.
How does Violet sound when she sneezes? I bet it sounds like ridiculously cute.
No, it's very loud. Yeah, my sneezes are also very loud. Yeah, so Violet does too. It fits with her backstory too. She
My.
just can't suppress it.
Violet, contain yourself.
I'm sorry.
Just like spray everywhere. Like the sergeant just like he tries to pretend like it didn't happen, but you can see he's got like his eyes closed. He's just like his face is just frozen. It's like a combination of disgust, but at the same time, he's a little bit fearful of all of you, especially since some of you can like immolate him on sight. And he's just like, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. And then he slowly wipes his face with the back of his hand and he opens his eyes.
I'm just happy there's no acid.
Yeah, exactly. There's no longer any. They're no longer caustic sneezes. They're just slimy and gross.
Well, I take that over killing my parents any day.
Yeah, that's definitely a lot less. A lot more socially acceptable, relatively speaking. Okay, so you all climb into the water. Violet continues to sneeze the whole time while you're in the water underneath these logs. It's a log. It looks completely untouched on the top, although they did have to, in order to hollow it out, they had to turn it upside down. In order to do that, they had to kind of strip some of the branches off. But it doesn't look that different from some of the other semi-prepared finished logs that have been cut down and partially stripped of the more egregious protuberances in order to make them an easier industrial load on a barge. And you slide in underneath. There's enough space to breathe. It's not a lot of space. You think you don't have hours and hours of air, but you're not going to need to hide underneath it the whole time. You can hang on outside the log, right? There's like enough still broken little branches and things that you can sort of hang onto the log with a strength check, and then just drift alongside of it. And then as you get closer, you can duck underneath and then pop your heads up inside the log so that you can breathe without being seen. All right. Is everybody ready?
It's
Yep.
you.
Yeah,
Yes.
thank you. I was hoping for you to say that. Thank you.
Can I be in the other log, not next to Violet, please?
Some
The
way,
cleric,
some way we
the
could
cleric is a
silence her.
germaphobe.
I'm trying my best. I need those nose plugs.
And you're like shivering, like your teeth are chattering. Okay. You get in, you start drifting. The soldiers on the bank, they give you a bit of a push and you move out slowly with the current, but also since the current is fastest in the center of the river, you basically drift out towards the center of the river and you make your way down. It's a couple of miles from the city. Well, it's not a couple of miles, it's more like a mile from the city. So it's more than enough distance so that they can't see what's happening, but in the darkness, that is. But at the same time, it doesn't take that long for you to get down there based on the fact that the river moves faster than humans would walk normally. So in, sort of 15, 20 minutes, you're near the city gates. And it is darkness. It's just about getting dark. Does anybody want to do anything before you get there? Anybody want to do anything inside while you're hiding under the log? Or hanging on? We'll have a strength check for everybody to hang on to the logs.
Is Violet still sneezing?
She's sneezing continuously.
We got to
Oh, no.
stop this somehow.
Uh,
Maybe silence or I don't know.
Let's see.
I can make my voice twice as loud.
Oh,
No.
that would be helpful.
Maybe someone can heat her up with some little cantrip.
Did that log just sneeze?
No.
Exactly.
Well, what would make it warm is a fireball.
Mhm.
That
There you go.
floating, burning log just sneezed.
No. I'm holding my nose.
How are you holding your nose?
Holding my nose. So.
How are you holding your
so-
nose and holding the log with both hands and drifting at the same time?
Can I not just have it in one hand?
Have you ever tried to hold on to something in flowing water with one hand?
Well,
Oh.
I don't think so.
It's not like holding onto a pot of yogurt.
Damn.
It's
Okay.
imagine trying to holding on to a 20-kilo pot of yogurt as it's being pulled away from you by a tractor.
Oh God.
Wait, so we don't have use of our hands?
No,
Uh-oh, okay.
unless you
What
can
if
figure
I-
out a way to do it. If you
What
can,
if
if
I-
you can convince me that you can do it, then that's fine.
If I put my head into the water, could the sneezing be suppressed?
Ah!
Yeah, like that.
Yeah,
like
so
when
would your
you're-
breathing. And then you would like inadvertently suck in water and drown a little bit.
Oh
You'd
God.
waterboard yourself.
Oh God. Sorry, problems.
So much
Oh, God.
quieter.
Dearie me.
I'm trying. Oh no.
What if we, before we go in, we use some rope to tie ourselves, like really tightly to one another or something?
Or to me.
Yeah, to Cracker's muscles. Then we wouldn't need our hands.
Sounds good.
But then I
Well,
can only carry so many. I mean,
well, also you'd be like a tail, right? You'd be drifting wherever you drift, and
yeah.
you'd be if you're not holding on to it, you're either drifting outside the log or you're going to be banging your heads inside the log. Achoo!
Oh God.
And that's how they
Aw.
died.
So heroic.
Drowned like a bag of kittens.
Oh.
Dylan comes
Maybe
back
I
to a whole new crew.
And everybody has a water phobia.
Maybe I could cast Mage Hand to hold
On
my
your own
nose.
face?
Yeah, that would work. Pinch your nose.
Mhm. A pinch, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Let's see. You can use your action to control a hand. Yeah, so it's your action. I guess technically your action is holding onto the log, but I'll allow it in this case.
Thank you.
Okay. Hopefully you don't have to roll any arcana saves or intelligence saves or to maintain
And-
concentration on it.
Well,
Constitution save. Okay, so you guys are floating and floating and floating. Anything else? Okay.
Ivy would be floating far up, I think. Just
Floating? Oh, you mean
no,
flying?
not flying. Yeah, flying. Sorry.
Okay. Ivy does not want to float inside the log with you. She is very, very uncomfortable with the idea. She can't swim, for one thing. How do you guys know when you got there?
Well, and this is the thing. I'm thinking I'm floating outside of the log because someone needs to spot for the things, but I don't have the best perception. I mean, I have dark vision, which is good,
Mhm.
right? So I
Yeah.
can see, but yeah, okay. If I have dark vision, do I get advantage on a perception check?
No.
Oh,
But if you did not have dark vision, you would have disadvantage. So
Great.
relatively speaking, you have advantage.
okay.
Anybody without dark vision has disadvantage.
I think we should all rope together. You all hang underneath the log. I'm outside the log on the south side of the log, looking for those openings, and that way I can pull you all when it's time.
And
I'll feel the
if
pull.
if you're
What?
outside, I'm gonna cast invisibility on you.
Oh, perfect.
Hey, that burning floating log that's sneezing has a big weird hole in the water next to it.
Water through me, right?
No, it looks like a bizarre hole in the water.
It's
See that at night,
dark.
though. It's dark.
It's dark.
Yeah.
Just another dark patch.
And you said that they were mostly humans.
Well, that's what you think.
Ah.
Neverwinter itself is a city comprised primarily of humans, but like any metropolitan city that doesn't have a prescription against any specific demi-humans, it does allow all kinds of races in. And there are tieflings in the city already.
Mm.
Charlotte will have seen elves visiting on occasion, although they tend not to like to stay because it's so dirty relative to what they're used to. Dwarves come in and out all the time, as well as gnomes, bringing a lot of their metal works for sale, trading, sometimes ore deposits. But the dwarves and gnomes tend to mine the ore and then work it themselves and sell the finished goods. She'll have seen the occasional half-orc, which usually elicits a pretty negative response because orcs aren't that liked even before the war. But, they're there. Half-elves are not uncommon. Halflings, quite a lot of halflings. They hang out and anything from juggling to cut purses to just your average whatever merchant. She even saw Dragonborn and once saw a Goliath, which was quite an experience because he was
Oh, wow.
very, very large. They're like the playable race version of a giant. They're like a mini
Oh.
giant. This fellow was like 8.5 feet tall. So you don't know. It's all gamble. Okay. It's a good idea. Any other precautions? Any other suggestions? Questions? Complaints?
Before we go in, actually, I have an idea. Well, I guess are we already in the water now? Actually, now that we.
I mean, we can retcon something if it's not material. If it's, I don't want to say not material, but if, let's say you're not at the city yet, so anything you need to do, you can probably stop and do it if you have already gotten into the water.
Fabulous. Okay. Maybe I'll just cast prestidigitation. How to make it appear? Boop.
Thank
To
you.
warm our underwear for an hour, just so it's like more comfortable in the water.
Yeah, sure. Chill, warm, or flavor up to 1 cubic foot of non-living material for 1 hour.
Mhm.
Can you have more? You can have, how many can you have up at the same time? Is it 3 or something?
Oh, you're right. Up to 3.
I don't need it.
I can do the other two.
Perfect.
There you go.
Perfect.
Twice.
Yeah.
Warm underwear for everyone.
I feel like I just peed in the water.
I was literally thinking that, but I didn't want to say it.
Something
It's like,
deeply
It's
wrong with
weird.
you.
no, I think you guys are just sort of naive.
Did someone pee in the pool?
Well, it would
was
feel
you.
like you peed in the few. Yeah, exactly. Did I just pee in the pool?
I look a little embarrassed. Cracker looks a little embarrassed
It's warm, but I don't feel the same sense of relief.
because you didn't tell me you were doing this, right?
That's even better.
Looks around to see if anyone notices.
Well, of course, you could have also just heated the log and then made it warm enough
true.
for the heads not to be cold. But you're right, the body it does keep the body warm, so that's good. All right. That's a great idea. Well done, Sophie. Anybody else? Anything else? Does Lilith want to say a prayer?
Nah.
If they die, they die.
But isn't he like the god of, I don't know, the sea or something? This Talos fellow.
Well, of storms anyway, so
Oh, well, close enough.
Yeah, there's some intersection. Some sailors who want to receive a benediction for safe travel will sometimes pray to Talos, but Ida's right. He's more storms, which isn't specific to the sea necessarily. Umberly is much more the goddess, the more popular goddess of the sea deity.
Oh, cool. Let's say a prayer to her then.
Umberly is quite evil. You can, people do. She's famously chaotic evil.
Oh, unbelieve. Let us not drown, please.
Roll percentile dice.
A what?
D100.
Yeah.
Nothing happens.
Oh, okay. Well.
That might be a good thing.
Yeah. In the old version, you had a 1% chance anytime you invoked the name of a god or a goddess of eliciting some sort of response, and chaotic evil gods and goddesses often did not like being disturbed. Okay, so you guys are in your logs. Who's with whom? Let's put it this way. Who's with Byleth?
I'm with Byleth because the sneezing thing and the
Okay.
tying to me thing. Yeah.
Okay. All right, so who else is with We'll say Henrietta's with whoever doesn't want to beware.
Ah.
Okay. Well, this is what happens when Henrietta misses a session. She's stuck with this. She's stuck with Sneezy the dwarf. Okay.
I think my mage hand does a good job at suppressing the sneezes.
It does until you start getting stressed out about getting close to the gate, and then you're gonna have to start rolling some concentration
Oh
checks.
god.
Yeah.
God,
Oh
oh
god. Oh god. Oh god. Okay. Let's have everybody roll a. Well, Laura, you can roll a concentration check to see if you can maintain your concentration on your mage hand.
Just a constitution check?
Yeah, it's a
Safe.
save. Yeah,
It's a save, okay.
should be the same.
Okay. Oh my god. Hello? Where is it? Oh. Ah,
Oh.
thank god.
Yeah.
That's some
Awesome.
mage
You
hand.
you
I'm very
figured out that
concentrated.
there's a way for you to actually use 3 fingers and your thumb to plug your 2 nostrils and pinch your nose from underneath using the mage hand. Double protection. It feels like a minor violation, but it completely stops the sneezing.
Amazing.
Very good. Well done. Everybody else give me, everyone altogether, including Cracker, of course, with advantage. Give me a strength check.
Ugh, crap.
Uh-oh. Zanice starts drifting away,
Is it a
never to be
save
seen
or a
again.
Ah.
check? Oh, it doesn't really.
Strength check, but it's
Check.
probably the same. It's fine. I'll take the save. It's not really different. Uh-oh. And Charlotte as well. So 2 members of the other log start drifting away.
No.
Oh no.
And they're not tied to Cracker, right? Because you guys aren't tied together. It's just one log is tied. You lose your grip, Zanice and Charlotte. You're floating out in the water. And as you are close enough now, Cracker, Zanice, and Charlotte, you can all see the riverine gates of Neverwinter. Oh, you're on the wrong map. Why are you on the wrong map?
I don't
Guys,
know.
get on the right map.
I'm on the doodle map.
Get on the right map,
Funky.
guys.
Let's go.
Ooh.
Oh.
Wow.
Pretty.
Ominous.
I was
I
going with
wish I
pretty.
saw it.
Pretty.
Ominous. Pretty ominous.
I don't know. It's a gate and stuff.
It's so pretty, you lose
It was.
concentration of your mage hand and you start
No.
sneezing immediately.
No.
Well.
It was fun while it lasted.
Good
supposed
thing
to
you
be
can't
dark.
see it.
Is it supposed to be the
Yeah.
void?
Huh?
Is the screen
Oh,
supposed
you don't see it?
I see the thing you flashed up on my screen.
Oh, okay.
There's no map.
There's no map.
Oh, that's intentional.
Man, you're very demanding, I have to say. This is a beautiful piece of art here. I spent time making this.
Yes, it's gorgeous.
Jesus.
Very nice.
Honestly.
I just wanted to make sure that there was nothing wrong.
That is one
Because it would be
great.
wrong if I hadn't already. Man.
That is one great AI search argument. Okay,
I-
so
Uh,
yeah.
Try not to lose it. Just hold it together. Just hold it. It's only 40 more minutes. Just hold it together. Yeah, fucking crickets.
um,
All right. I'm going to have everybody roll 2d20s. See if anybody spots you.
Okay.
Hey,
I-
there's something in the water over there. Ah, it's a log. No, look, next to the log. It looks like a person. And they seem to be pointing at the log that Zanice is floating next to now because she's kind of come out underneath the log. Oh, and Charlotte as well.
no.
Charlotte was also floating outside the log and she was spotted.
Gulp.
Why is he setting up initiative? Why is there
Okay.
initiative? Okay. Yes, I know it's dark. I will I will give you guys access to the picture just so you have something to look at. But we're going to be doing this primarily theater of the mind. Now, just to put this in perspective, you're basically at the river gates on the east side. Everything is within reach, which is to say any attack you're using other than obviously a melee attack with a sword will be within reach, right? You want to throw something, you can hit somebody. You want to shoot something, you can definitely hit somebody. Equally, they can hit you. There are quite a few guards, quite a few meaning, like a dozen, not thousands. As the alarm goes up, they see something. They're not 100% sure what it is exactly, but there's a few of them already noticing at least one of you, if not two of you. Everybody can roll initiative. You can tell me what you want to do. You're not under any obligation. You're under no obligation to attack anybody. You can try to hide. You can do other things, but you decide how you want to handle it. Okay. And for those of you that have not been spotted, or I should say have not drifted out from under the logs, you have complete cover. The log, although technically the log doesn't extend to cover your body, between the log covering your heads and the water and the darkness and the reflection of the light on the surface of the water, nobody can see you. The water technically isn't complete cover, but for this purposes it is, and the log definitely covers your head and your shoulders.
So just so I'm clear, I have Mealy and Byleth, right?
Yeah.
And that's it. Okay.
Yeah. Not sure why your character didn't get in there, but I'll give you the 22.
Thank you.
Welcome. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so that's everybody. And then we'll just say that the guards are an average 10. Okay. Who wants to go first? I guess Cracker would go first between Lilith and Cracker, just by virtue of the fact that Cracker's on the outside.
Well, I think Charlotte
Okay.
goes first, right?
I meant between Cracker
Oh,
and
okay,
Lilith.
okay.
Charlotte, you are first up, and you are exposed. You think somebody may have spotted you. You're certainly outside, and there are lights. They're shining lights in your general direction. It almost works like a spotlight, the way that they can shift the mirrors and the lights around. And there seems to be light on your log, and you can see the light very brightly in your face, so you can assume that maybe they might see you.
Okay. I'm gonna try something, but I don't know if it's gonna work. I'm going to pretend to be a corpse.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna play dead.
If you make that sound, it'll definitely work.
Yeah. Yes, I shall do that.
All right. I think that's a performance check. Unless you want to try deception, or if you've got something better up your sleeve.
They're all the same. So, yeah.
I'll give you advantage because you've seen a lot of dead people lately.
Oh, lovely.
You even caused some.
I'll see if I can replicate the corpse of Lord Kazanda, dead face and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, you look bloated, fat, and bearded.
Oh, I'm so dead. I'm so dead.
But at least the kids will stop calling you fish fingers now. Well done, Sophie. Yes, one of them says, it's just a corpse caught up in a tree log. But what about that other one? All right, Cracker, your turn.
All right, so we haven't been spotted. We're just floating along.
You're not
I just-
100% sure, but the spotlights aren't on you. It's just
Okay.
say.
Staying silent. Just staying silent. Hanging
Okay.
on to that log. Yep.
Okay. Lilith, you're
Um,
under the log with the other two who disappeared now. You're the only one inside the log itself currently.
Yes. I'm just gonna hold there. Stay
Okay.
and hold a tight grip.
All right. The moment of truth. All right, Daria.
Shouldn't the guards be first?
Yes, the guard should be first. Ah, then put some arrows into that one just to be safe. See, you should have just gone. Thank you, Daria. Yvonne and Laura, why don't you each roll a d20? Oh,
I
Shit.
I think I want to use the 9 of my portent and hope it doesn't hit.
okay. All right.
Yeah, it's a 9.
Okay, so the 9's not that one plops harmlessly into the tree trunk itself. The first one does hit Zanice, and it's a crit. It's going to do 8 points of damage. Daria, what is Zanice doing on her turn?
She wants to stay dead. Pretend.
Okay, so I'll say that as a reaction, you can try to pretend to be dead. You'll have to roll a performance check, but also you're going to need to first roll a save to avoid screaming out or making some sort of obvious flinch or something in response to the damage you've taken. So that'll be a Constitution save.
I'm gonna use my inspiration.
Excellent idea.
25.
Wow.
Oh, nice.
I'm not screaming.
Yeah, just lifeless. Just thunk. It's fine. It's fine.
Wow.
The last few weeks of practicing to be an old person has really made it easy for you to absorb damage.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. Well done, Daria. Now, if you would like to attempt a performance or deception check, or if you've got something else in mind.
Let's do performance.
All right. And you'll also have advantage on that as well.
That's good.
You guys.
But shit.
All right. You sure? Doesn't look like a corpse. It's not very bloated. Not like the other one. Yeah, but you shot it. It didn't move, did it? No. Yeah, I guess you're right. We'll just call one of those workers to clean it out. Don't want that getting into the water system. It'll be fine. Shame, though. Looks like it might have been a pretty girl at one point. They're all pretty girls until they're dead. That's true. All right. And Byleth, your turn.
I'd also like to stay under the log, and maybe I'd like to look through Ivy's eyes to see if the maneuver has begun, or if the bonfires have been lit.
Oh, yes. Yeah, she can see fires off in the distance. Yep.
Okay. I don't think there's much
They're
more to
they're
do.
v- they're very, very bright, and she
Mhm.
can also hear. She'll report back that she can also hear a lot of shouting.
Okay.
It's
Nice.
it's audible from that distance, especially considering she's way high. She's high up.
Mhm.
The rest of you can't really hear it very clearly because either you're in the water, you're inside a log, the water itself makes noise, you're on the surface of the water surrounded by walls of the city now. So it's a lot harder to discern, but Ivy can sort of make it out. Very good.
Okay.
Okay, well, you managed to successfully get past the guards. One of you got shot, but did a terrific job pretending that you're just a corpse. The other one basically just laid there like a corpse and did a great impersonation of one. As you float through the city, you get through into the poor quarter. You eventually Cracker and the others who are outside their logs will spot what appear to be sewer grates. There's one. They're not like every 100 feet or something, but you see one and then you drift for a few minutes, you see another one. So there's more than one to choose from.
Okay, and they're open. There's no grate. You said grate. So are there any that are damaged that look like we can get into?
I mean, you'd have to stop and examine it cursorily, there's not one that's literally missing a grate.
Hmm.
But also, by the time you know for sure, you will have passed all the ones upstream. So,
All right. Then I'm just gonna look at Byleth and Mealy and nod, which means, hold your breath.
you're on the outside, aren't you?
Oh yeah, I'm
You're
on the outside. Damn.
invisible.
But I did tell them if I give a pull on the rope to
Okay,
know it's time to go.
sure.
So, okay. So I give a quick yank on the rope
Uh-huh.
and hopefully they let go.
Okay.
And I'm going to dive under the water, holding my breath and swim to the nearest one that I can see.
How did the others know?
I don't know.
I can message them
Okay.
Okay.
with my cantrip.
Okay. So you dive under the water and you start swimming. Everybody else is getting pulled along by you.
Yeah. And
Uh,
hopefully swimming as well, but knowing that we're
yeah.
going in this direction.
And Byleth is messaging. Okay. Yep. You have no problems. It's not that difficult.
Okay.
You manage to get up to the grate. The others get the message as well. Presumably you three also detach and join Cracker?
Yes.
Okay, very good. So you guys all sort of get there. This is one that is the river here is fairly shallow. By the time you actually get to the grate, you're sort of waist deep in water.
Okay.
So there's enough water that if you want to really, lie down in it, you could pretend you were in the water and it might be hard for people to see you. But if you stand up, you also have enough leverage to do things. The grate, it
Yeah.
looks like a typical metal grate on something like this. It's old, it's rusted. It has a door in the grate itself, a metal barred door, and across the door there's a chain with hinges on one side and a chain with a lock on the other, keeping it locked. It's obviously meant to be able to be opened on occasion, presumably for maintenance, but at the moment it's chained and locked. If anything, it looks rusted together, but it's possible to break it.
Okay.
Fireball.
I think your verbal component for fireball should be achoo.
Achoo. It is.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna take my my little warhammer out,
Your little warhammer.
Yeah.
Okay.
and I'm gonna give it a
First time
tap.
I've heard that described that way. Okay.
Well, it is to me,
Yeah.
And I'm gonna give it a little gentle tap just to see if I can break that lock off. It's
Sure.
gonna be noisy though. My issue is it's gonna make noise.
You're in the city now, so there's some ambient noise,
Okay.
It's not, yeah, it'll be noisy, but it's not like it's dead silent around you. There's the sound of people just living life, things. It's late at night, so most industry is closed, but there's, some taverns and pubs and the lapping sound of the water against the banks. So go ahead and give it a strength check if you want.
Or okay. Sorry, I did an attack.
That's fine.
Strength check.
Yeah, then yeah,
I like
no,
the attack better.
okay, all right. No, that makes sense. The attack makes sense. You break the lock. The lock is not very sturdy. It didn't take that much. It was mostly rust actually, and the lock comes off.
Okay. And sorry, the rage damage was on. And I signal to everybody who's hopefully just behind me in the water.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully everyone can see me. And I
Yeah.
untie the rope because I don't want to still be attached to everybody because they can get out of the water
Mhm.
now.
Sure.
And open the gate,
Okay.
quietly remove the chain, open the door, and in we go.
All right. You enter the sewers.
And walk along the
You
side.
you walk along the side. There's poop everywhere. There's poop
Oh.
even on the sides because, of course, occasionally it floods and stuff gets left behind. It's mostly water. It's not all sewage, but there is a lot of sewage. It's like 70, 80% pure water, and then the rest of it is just all kinds of crap. It's not just poop. It's also other things that get floated down, garbage, cloth items. There's occasionally some rotted bits of paper, bits of wood, animal remains from either animals that died in the sewers or things that might have been consumed by humans or others and then thrown down into what might be part of the elimination system for garbage as well as waste. The smell is amazing. It's really, really strong. It's enough to wrinkle all of your noses. In some cases, you feel like your eyeballs are burning.
Oh god. I'm gonna use my secret mage hand technique.
Absolutely. Now that you've perfected it, it's a lifesaver for sure. You are able to plug up your nose, eliminate 90% of the smell, and some of the rest of you look on jealously, presumably, at Violet's ability to completely inoculate herself from the sensations associated with traipsing through a sewage system.
I'm gonna use my boots of levitation and hold on to Cracker's arm.
Ah, very clever.
I'll just continuously cast prestidigitation to clean the area in front of me and also make it smell a little bit less repulsive.
Okay, yeah. So are you cleaning the area or just your clothes?
The area before I step in it.
So there's now this little tiny, very dainty path of clean area, clean cobblestones
Mm-hmm.
with just a little bit of water wherever Charlotte's walking.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna walk behind Charlotte.
Okay.
I'm gonna walk behind Lilith.
It's like a
I guess-
minefield, you guys.
We're in front.
Uh-huh. All right.
Cracker gives a little eye roll,
Mhm.
and up we go. Up the sewers, looking for some sort of way out.
Yes. You think you start to see little bits of light. It's darkness outside, so it's not like sunlight is coming through. But occasionally, off to the sides, you see what appear to be grates. You think this might be part of the general water collection system, right? So there are some sewage systems that also allow for rainwater washing off of streets. And this may be that. But those openings tend to be too small for any of you to fit in naturally. But up ahead, you see some lights descending directly from above. You suspect that may be actually related to a larger, possibly entrance or exit. But just underneath it, there is a pile of what appears to be rubbish, maybe something bones related sticking out.
But there's a light above. Do I hear any noises?
Yes, you do. Clicking.
A clicking? Is it coming from above or below?
From the pile.
From the pile? All right, everybody, stop. Can everybody hear that?
Everybody can hear it. Yeah.
Can someone touch that from a distance, please? I don't really want to walk up to it.
I can use my mage hand. And I'm gonna hold my breath and go a bit back and then use my mage hand to touch
Okay.
the thing.
Okay. Why is he clearing the initiative again?
We were just curious.
Go ahead and roll. You can just drag your tokens out onto the thing. I'm going to make this visible. And then you can use it as a little fighting scene. We'll make everybody really large and plus-sized. Just to make it more fun. Ooh. Wait. Come back. Violet. Always the troublemaker.
What did I do? Oh, well, yeah. I
Your token.
started it. Never mind.
Yeah. Okay. And directly in front of you rises
Ah,
this nice looking fellow.
Wow.
Mm.
Lovely.
He climbs out of the pile and starts making his way toward you.
Need some serious dental care. Okay.
In fact, I'm calling them snappers.
Snappers.
Hey, maybe he doesn't come from a very wealthy family. They can't afford braces.
Yeah, let's try talking to him first. That sounds fun.
Yeah, there you go. For that, you get to roll his initiative, Yvonne.
Oh no.
Thank you.
8.
Okay. Very good. He's going to go in front of you. All right, Zanice, you're up. What do you want to do?
I'm gonna cast Firebolt.
Maybe the dude just is, that's just where he lives. You're breaking into his house.
Don't care.
We're no druids.
Oh, sorry, I have advantage on.
Okay, no problem.
It's 27.
Yeah, that's a crit for sure. Well done. But you ended up getting 2 1s.
Yeah.
Oh well. All right. Who is next? Charlotte?
Yes. I shall use Frostbite on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Take that 1 damage and then use the save.
It saves and takes 0 damage. Hiya.
Whatever.
Take that.
And then I'll use my bonus action to do a telekinetic push.
Okay.
Yeah. Which is another save against my spell save DC, which is 13. So
Okay.
it's a strength save. Yeah.
Okay. And it laughs.
Oh, it laughs like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Snappers is going to
How about me? I also want to go.
no.
Oh
Okay.
my god.
I'm gonna use Sacred Flame.
Ooh.
Oh.
Oh god.
All right. As I was saying before, I was so rudely interrupted. Everybody roll a d20. Let's see who Snappers decides to go after. You all look equally tasty. Ooh. Okay. It will go after Cracker and Byleth. Cracker has not yet raged.
Nope.
Nope. Okay. So first things first, it crawls up onto the ceiling
Ugh.
and will attack Cracker with its tentacles. Go ahead and roll a d20, Ida, for the attack.
Yes.
Ooh, that's going to hit. You take 6 points of poison damage. May I have a Constitution saving throw, please?
Oh, sorry. I have advantage on. Sorry. I was
Yes, you do. And
10.
no, you did not make it. Cracker is completely paralyzed and dangling
Oh.
upside down
Crap.
from the mouth
No.
of Snappers.
Oh, he's being eaten.
Oh,
I'm so tasty. Okay.
she is so tasty. You are poisoned for 1 minute. You may repeat your saving throw every turn.
Okay.
And then I guess this is going to bite. Who was the second person who had the highest? Byleth, right? Or Lilith?
Maybe.
Oh,
No, I was the second highest roll.
oh yeah, Lilith.
Yeah.
Ida was rolling for the
Mhm.
Okay. Go ahead and roll the attack, Daria, as it tries to bite Lilith. Ooh, and it bites Lilith
You mean
for
Byleth?
10.
Me?
Violet.
Do you mean
Sorry,
me?
Byleth. Sorry. Yes. Sorry. Didn't
Let
mean
you
to
take
cheat
the
you of a
damage
good
from me.
bite. Yeah. 10 points of piercing damage.
Delicious.
Yeah. Cracker, you are paralyzed. You can do nothing but make your save or try to make your save.
Okay. Con save, right?
Yeah, Constitution.
19.
You are no longer paralyzed, but that was your turn.
Hooray!
Yeah,
Great.
you're still dangling there. Okay. All right, Byleth.
Yeah. I'd like to cast. Is he more than 5 feet away from me?
No, everything's within reach. You can move up to 5 feet pretty easily.
But I
It's
can
fine.
also go back.
Yes.
I don't know. Okay.
Yeah, no, you can. That's a fair question. Everything is within reach. If you want to move away so that you're no longer in melee range, you will provoke an opportunity attack.
Oh, okay. So I can't cast a spell that's ranged.
No, technically, no.
Okay.
I mean, you can. You just have disadvantage.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Then I will cast. Oh God. Sorry. I'll cast Magic Missile.
Fireball.
Go. Phew. Pay you.
Okay. All right.
Damn it.
All 3 hit. Yes. Well done.
Trip for just a second.
Huh?
I didn't get a chance because you moved on so fast to say rage is a bonus action, and I would go into a rage.
No.
Okay.
It's at the end of your turn to make
Oh,
the
at
save.
the end. Okay.
So you wouldn't be able to do anything.
Okay.
The idea is that you lose your turn, or
Right,
you're
even for
guaranteed to
bonus
lose
actions,
your turn.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
You don't get to do anything except make your save.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. Thank you.
Okay, Byleth. Sorry, Zenith rather. Why did I not do everything in order? Oh, Zenith is first. All right, sorry. Okay.
I'm gonna use Mind Sliver
Okay.
and save.
Ooh, hope you make that. Hope you
3.
fail it. Oh, yes. And you slice into this alien creature's mind. All you hear is but it obviously is affected, and it drops Cracker on her head in the water. Ploop. She sounds like a really big deuce. All right. Charlotte.
Well, I want to get on this magic missile train, so here I go.
Okay.
Pew! Oh, what was that?
You reach across with your
Wrong.
mage
No.
hand and slap it across the face.
No.
It does no damage.
It's because they both start with M
The
A.
challenge is
A G.
accepted, and it targets you for the remainder of the combat.
No.
I think your mage hand
Pew.
should be mittens. It should look like a
No.
mitten.
Oh,
Shut
yeah.
up. Pew. Pew.
Mage mittens.
Mage mittens.
I hate you.
Only because I tap into your deepest, darkest insecurities.
That's what I get for sharing.
Oh God.
Exactly.
Never again.
No, we love it though. It's so much fun. Okay, yes, all 3 hit. Pew pew pew. It stops laughing. Okay, Lilith.
Yes. How far away from it was I? Like,
It's right up in your face.
so I can
this-
touch it.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. And it can
Okay.
touch you.
Yeah, I don't want that. I'm gonna touch it with my inflict wounds.
Ooh. Haven't seen that used very often. Oh. You touch it, but as you do, you sort of slip on the slimy covered carapace of this creature, and you don't get good contact.
Oh.
But it's a lot of damage goes through the system, and you end up destroying a whole patch of slimy mold that was growing on the side of the wall. And it will target Lilith for that. Actually, it's going to target Charlotte for that slap across the face.
No.
Yeah. Okay. Ida, roll an attack. And yeah, Daria, roll an
Whee!
attack.
No.
All right. 13 does
Shield.
13. I think 13. Oh, what's your AC with shield?
17.
Oh, it hits. It just pierces your shield
Ah!
with the
Okay.
bite, but not the paralysis though. And you take 10 points of piercing damage as it bites into your thigh, shoulder, and hangs you upside down.
No.
Okay, Cracker, you are dripping wet, covered in sewage.
That's great.
You'll
All
have
right.
to
Well,
stand up.
I'm pretty pissed now, so I'm raging.
Yep.
And I am recklessly attacking. And I'm taking a big swing at these claws.
I hope you don't hit Charlotte.
Okay. We've never played that rule before with the grapple and the accidental hits. Are we really doing this?
No.
Okay, good. Thank you.
That
Oh,
would be
man.
mean.
It would be me.
I've been mean enough
Ah.
to Sophie today.
Crappy
Thank
hits.
you.
For the remaining 4 minutes, I'm going to be really nice to Sophie.
Oh,
Aw.
good.
She deserves it.
She does deserve it.
Mhm.
Yes. Okay. The 16 definitely hits. Sorry, not the 10 though.
I know.
10 points of damage. It looks pretty badly injured. Well done. Part of it's one of its claws falls into the sewage. Bloop. It stops laughing.
I know.
All right,
Oh,
Byleth.
yes. I want to cast Mind Spike
Mm.
and spike it with my mind. Let's go. That's not that much damage. Well,
The redundancy
okay.
of terms, Department of Redundancy. Okay,
Yeah.
And
DC 15.
it has minus 1d4 from a save.
Yes,
Oh,
yes,
nice.
because of and it fails its save, and
Yeah. And I'm an expert.
which means what?
I get 1 first level spell slot back.
Okay, right, excellent. Okay, yeah, it's looking pretty bad.
Take that.
All right, Zenise.
Mind sliver again.
All right. Uh-oh.
Shit.
Oh no! It just keeps chomping on Charlotte.
And I'm gonna use my bonus action.
Okay.
Where is it? Where is it? Quicken spell.
It's obviously a stress eater, Sophie, so.
And
Same.
I'm going to cast Magic
Same, you
Missile.
said. Oh, wow. Okay.
Pew,
That's
pew,
quite a nice bonus
pew.
action.
Nice.
9 points,
9.
and it drops from the ceiling, dead, dropping Charlotte with it into the sewage water.
You're welcome.
Ah, splash.
Splash. Oh, poor Charlotte. She's all
Ah.
covered in poo now.
Oh no. I'm so sorry.
Gonna resist the
Shouldn't
urge
have
to
touched it.
scream at the top of my lungs.
Yeah, there's a little bit of like the sewage water dribbling into your nose and your mouth.
Maybe we don't poke things that are making noises next time.
Sorry.
Cracker reaches into the
I
bag of
feel so
holding and
bad.
pulls out Ida's armor.
Thank you. I was just gonna ask for that.
Oh yeah.
Been naked this
Oh,
entire time.
it definitely should have attacked Lilith. She was completely vulnerable and all tender and
Yep.
juicy, looking like a steak. Okay. Well, the good news is it's dead, and just above it is what appears to be a large sewer grate that seems to have light coming through it. It appears to be some sort of torchlight or candlelight or lantern light. And with a good shove from your exceptionally strong and capable half-orc barbarian teammate, and after several rounds of prestidigitation, you've all cleaned yourselves off, although the taste in the mouths of anybody who was dropped into the sewage water lingers. Just can't do anything about that. You can mask it, but it's a bit like using some kind of deodorizing spray after a very bad poo. it just makes everything smell better, but it doesn't hide the underlying smell and taste. So it smells like roses and crap, frankly. But you manage to climb out and you find yourselves in an alley in Neverwinter. And as soon as you climb out, a figure appears in front of you, surprised. Oh, trying to hide from the authorities, eh? I know how that feels. Say, you wouldn't be looking for something in the way of information, or maybe something you could use that the coppers aren't so fond of, like a potion, dagger? And that's where we'll end today.
Mm.
Excellent.
Oh, we'll have to think about what we say to him next week.
Yeah.
Mm.
You'll have to think about what you're going to say to him next week.
Me?
You. You're up.
Okay.
This is your town.
Well, okay.
That's true.
I would appreciate some input, though.
All right, everybody. As usual, thank you very much. What a lovely session, and what a lovely way to spend a cold Sunday in December with my friends. So, hope you guys had fun, and
Yeah, that was fun.
have a lovely week. And I'll see you guys next
You
Sunday.
too.
Thank you. It was
so
awesome.
much. Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye,
Bye.
guys.